What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new Starcraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro circuit. Spawning here in the top left-hand corner of Neon Violet Square LE, playing with the red Terran pieces. He's currently down in this series, but certainly not out of it just yet. His name is MaSa. And his opponent, spawning in the cross position, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. We have the best player currently on the planet. He's currently up in this series and wants to keep it rolling in his favor. His name is Serral. So, guys and girls, game number one between these two players was absolutely insane. I really felt that there were numerous points in the game where I felt like MaSa had really good opportunities to win the matchup, but it just so happened that Serral, just how good he really is at his defense as well as his offense, was just able to slowly but surely overwhelm his opponent. And Serral is going for a little bit of an out-of-the-ordinary build here very early on in this game. He is going to build a hatchery, proxy hatchery, near MaSa's, technically what would be maybe MaSa's fourth base. And I'm very excited to see what Serral's got in store, because he's going for something a little bit out of the ordinary, and I love that so much. Serral he plays the macro focus game a lot, but he also loves to play, you know, maybe sometimes a little bit more uncharacteristically in certain matchups, in certain games, when you're not even, or when you're least expecting it. And that's exactly what's happening right now. And I don't think MaSa has any idea that this is coming. He's probably going to find out relatively soon, though, with this Reaper moving across the map now. And that Reaper is going to find out very quickly that something is not right. And he's going to have to figure out where this proxy hatchery is. Now, very interestingly enough, it looks like MaSa is going to try to see if that third base is taken, which it is not. And then he's going to come over, he's going to see that this natural is not taken either. Now, he didn't really scout to see if this base was taken back here. I'm not really sure what he was doing. It looks like he's going back because he's a little bit confused. And he's going to see, okay, so he cancels the natural expansion very quickly because he sees that something is not right at this point. Kind of figured it out. It was a little bit behind. But that being said, there are some Zerglings that have moved across, started moving into the base. We're going to see some a Ravager push now with the Queen coming in. So we're going to see a bunker was put up. It looks like MaSa, he really got ready for this quickly, and I love that decision a lot. He got ready very quickly. His reaction time was on point there, and we are going to see exactly what ends up happening here very, very soon, because now that a siege tank is now out, you're going to have to be very, very careful. It looks like Serral is going to continue this aggression, most likely. He's got another Queen that's coming in. The creep spread is moving onto MaSa's side of the map here, or I should say near his natural expansion. He's going after that second supply depot, gets it, and supply blocks once again MaSa. And this is where it's going to get interesting, because now MaSa has, of course, on the opposite side of the map, he's trying to kind of consistently get a little bit aggressive with that Reaper, trying to deny that next hatchery from going down. But this is just Serral playing at his best, kind of doing something a little bit out of the ordinary, but it's very effective. It does a substantial, it does a little bit of some damage, and it kind of keeps the opponent on their toes. And that's exactly what you need. Now, here's a good move. MaSa is going to start moving across the map with a medevac full of Marines. And that's what you kind of need right now, is he's going to start moving across the map trying to do a little bit of some damage. The question is now the lair is going to be going up. And he has a couple of Queens out. or he has one queen out right now. So this is going to get very, very interesting really quickly. The longer that this game goes, we are going to see the drop come in at the main base location. Spore Crawler's going to be coming in, and it does look like there are going to be some roaches that are out. And all that said and done, nothing too crazy is, not a whole lot of damage really being dealt yet. But I do feel, though, that MaSa needs to come back over on his side of the map and really start clearing out some of this creep spread. This is kind of getting out of hand. You got a bunch of Ravagers as well as some Queens here. The longer this game goes, Serral's going to be able to take a substantial lead because he's just kind of buying time. He's just buying himself some time. Now here's another drop of more of those Marines. And now we've got a Liberator across the map trying to do a little bit of some damage as well. So beautiful play here by MaSa, trying to do as much damage as possible. Kind of just trying to keep Serral somewhat on his toes. And just like that, we've got a couple of Sea Shanks on the high ground. It looks like MaSa is getting ready to start trying to retake his natural expansion, because the longer this goes, man, Serral's going to be in a great position. He's already, you know, saturated on 2 bases, which is great for him. And this Liberator, once again, is trying to fry some of these Queens. And once again, here we go. And this is exactly what MaSa wanted to do. He wants to do as much damage as possible with some of those Marines as well as this Liberator. This Liberator is going to be able to do a lot of damage going after some more and more drones. This is exactly what you want if you are MaSa. So very interesting. MaSa's playing this actually pretty well. I like the way he's playing this. He's going to start to slow push his opponent. And we're going to see a 3rd command center coming in. So this is very interesting. Serral is playing this. He's just really buying himself some time. He just doesn't want to allow MaSa to really have an inch whatsoever. But all that considered and all that said and done, there's a, you know, I think MaSa played this pretty well. He played it a lot better than I would ever. I mean, I would already be out of this thing at this point. I would have already lost, and there is absolutely no question about it. So here we go. A Raven is now out on the map as well, and it looks like Serral is trying to just kind of slowly but surely continue on with that aggression. Glad Reconstitution's coming in. He's also, you know, he's got some of these roaches here for some defense back home. I just really like the position Serral's in. He's just buying himself so much time. He is slowly but surely just doing, you know, kind of keeping MaSa on his toes big time here. Now, we are going to see this orbital command. Well, it looked like he was about to take the gold base, but it does look like that creep spread is just delaying MaSa so much. And I feel that if Serral is able to win this match, it's simply because he has just been able to really slow down MaSa. He has just been able to do, you know, kind of just delay what MaSa's trying to do. So Serral going for something a little bit cheesy, a little bit out of the ordinary. It seems to have done, you know, paid off dividends for him at this point, at this stage in the game. I mean, we've passed that 9-minute mark, and MaSa still doesn't have a natural expansion. He cannot expand, and we're 9 minutes into this game. Serral has just kept him at bay constantly, on his toes. 3rd hatchery is going down now for Serral. He's going to have such a tremendous economic advantage over his opponent. And once again, you just got to be really careful how you approach this. But it looks like we're going to kind of work our way back into a macro-focused game. But all of that said and done, there is just, I mean, there's just not much here for MaSa as he's trying to, you know, trying to kind of get established in this game. He just cannot get established whatsoever. Serral, I mean, guys, this is why we are watching and witnessing the current best player on the planet, and it's not even up for debate right now how good Serral is in defense, in offense, his aggression, just everything all around. Serral has become, you know, over time, just the best, you know, far and away the best type of Starcraft 2 player. I mean, he is just that good. So, I mean, when we're looking at this, Serral is fully saturated on 3 bases. Now they're going to start taking out this proxy hatchery. But all that said and done, Serral's just going to have such a substantial lead shortly here. And I mean, it's just crazy because we're approaching 11 minutes into this game. And just now, finally, MaSa was able to get a couple of bases up and running. Now, he does have this gold base, and this is really going to help him a lot if Serral doesn't do something about it. And, of course, these mules, which are pretty much man's best friend for a Terran player, are really going to ramp up the production for MaSa to try to get back into this game. Because Serral has just kind of over and above just done so much to just slow down MaSa. And now we're going to see the infestation pit, the baneling nest as well. So it looks like we're probably going to see, yes, the hive is going to be morphed in at this point for Serral. So while MaSa is trying to just get started with his build order, Serral is already preparing an all-out assault on his opponent. And he's going to start to move out here. He's going to try to get those biles to land on that Raven. Does not get it, though. And just like that, though, MaSa is trying to get back in this game quickly. And so he's building some bases. He's got to get, you know, somewhat of an army together here. He does, you know, he's got a decent amount of siege tanks as well as some Marines, and they're going to be upgraded here shortly. But the overwhelming amount of units that Serral's got at this point, and he's got all of his upgrades that are be finishing up. Nemesis Carapace, melee attacks level 1, and ground Carapace level 2 are all finishing up right now. So he has got, you know, he's got the lead on the upgrades. He's got the lead, of course, you know, just, I mean, the supply count, even though he is just a little bit behind MaSa, it's one of those things, guys, that Serral is easily ahead at this point, and he is just, he is just completely droning up, and he is planning on, I would assume, an all-out assault here shortly with a lot of these units, as MaSa is going to try to somewhat even the score as he's starting to move out with a lot of siege tanks, a Marauder, some medevacs, as well as a lot of Marines. So it does look like, here we go, Serral does see all these siege tanks that are moving across the map now. The question is how are you going to react to this? As he's trying to clear out a lot of that creep spread, I'm wondering if Serral is going to plan, once again, another surround on his opponent, because that is what Serral does so well. They're going to start to move in now on that 4th base location. Here we go. Serral's going to try to overwhelm his opponent with the Banelings, Roaches, Ravagers. Here we go. It looks like Serral might barely, doesn't look like he has quite enough to take on all those siege tanks. Just a lot of siege tanks there. Doing a lot of damage to this army, just, you know, kind of just really doing some damage. You got to be very careful when you're trying to slowly but surely move on to creep, because when you start moving on to creep, that's where it gets a little bit scary for a Terran player, because of course the Zerg players' units, of course, are faster on the creep spread than they are just on the normal playing field. So here we go, though. We're going to see MaSa. He's going to start to consistently move in on that 4th base location. Looks like Serral is going to give up on that 4th base. MaSa has actually been playing very well in this series so far. I really like how he's been playing. He's been playing this thing really well and smartly, but here come the Ultralisks. The Ultralisks are out, guys, and this is where it can get very scary for a Terran player. those higher tier hive-based units, now that they're out, and of course, MaSa is still trying to expand. It's just going to be very difficult as time goes. Here we go. The surround is going to be coming in. You do not want to get trapped here. Does look like a lot of these siege tanks are a little bit vulnerable. These Ultralists are just doing so much damage. Oh my god. What in the world? The swarm is there once again. And Serral now takes a lead in the supply count as well. And it looks like that we're just seeing all blue starting to move across the map. These Zerglings are starting to move across the map. You've got to be very, very careful because Serral has got a plan of attacking here. Looks like a lot of Banelings. So the question is he going to move in to this natural expansion? Because once again, MaSa is going to try to do as much damage as possible. He's trying to hit at multiple angles at once, and here comes some more Ultralists. The Ultralists are going to start moving, trying to do some damage, and it's just been a back and forth fight. Back and forth fight as we pass that 16-minute mark. Both players playing this thing absolutely brilliantly, and Serral is going to move in with some of those Zerglings. He's trying to do a little bit of some damage to these higher tier-based tech structures. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, though, to say the least, at least at this point. But my god, what an intense match. MaSa has played some of the best Starcraft I think I have seen him play ever, and it just so happens to be against the best player on the planet. He is just really playing well. I mean, I would have lost this game probably 10 minutes ago, easily. MaSa is about at that full supply here, or that, I should say, supply, that 200 supply count, and the same can be said for Serral. He's about there as well, so we're going to see probably a clash relatively shortly. It looks like it's going to be happening sooner than maybe later. Does look like MaSa, it does not like the way that this looks, but the swarm is starting to move into that natural expansion, try to go after a lot of these tech structures. Is Serral right now? Those Zerglings are doing so much damage. Advanced ballistics gets denied, and now the Zerglings are doing so much damage, and here comes the swarm as once again the Vipers are starting to do a lot of damage and trying to get those blinding clouts on a lot of these units. So much damage is being dealt though across the map. These Zerglings are just wreaking havoc to MaSa. He is trying to hold on, but so much damage is being dealt, and here comes more units of Serral's just trying to push across the map. Has not even fully cleared out all of these Zerglings yet. These Zerglings have not even been cleared out of that natural expansion. This is Serral doing Serral-like things, and now the swarm is coming. You have all blue moving across the map. They're going after all of these. All of those SCVs get picked up. And oh my god, the Zerg player Serral is just slowly overwhelming his opponent right now, doing so much damage. Is Serral. With these Zergling run-bys, I think that might be the tail of the tape. He is doing so much damage with those Zergling run-bys. It's unbelievable. Melee attacks level 3 is going to be finishing up, and he's going to try to overwhelm another base. He's hitting at multiple places once. GG is called, and Serral takes a commanding 2-0 lead over his opponent. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Serral and MaSa, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe for news, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.